Kansas is the sunflower state and gateway to the Great Plains. From the Kansas City area to Garden City, you'll meet all kinds of people. Liberty typically prevails in Kansas, as we are diehard conservatives by nature.
I've spent 11 summers sleeping in the lions.
As we all know, the biggest issues in Kansas seem to be COVID and agriculture, but there's an even bigger one on the ballot in 2022, and it happens to be our freedom. Kansas knows pain and Kansas knows tough times, but we need strong and able leadership to lead us through the pain and tough times of the 21st century. It just doesn't happen to be the Democrat Party.
Because your days
Tonight, the governor of Kansas says the time has come to require masks in public places. KCTV5's Betsy Webster joins us live tonight to explain how this order will work. Betsy?
Well, Brad, I'm here at the city health system because the governor actually brought this up this afternoon. She talked about a nurse and a chaplain here. She named them and described as the reason for some of the administration's new steps that were announced today being the physical and emotional exhaustion that these medical professionals are dealing with. Now let's take you to a look at the new executive order on face coverings that she issued today. This is an attempt to address resistance to her July mask mandate, due in part to what she says was a flawed one-size-fits-all approach. Now, county commissioners will have 1 week to implement their own face covering ordinance, as she says, that works for them and their residents. If after a week they're not created, then if they have not created their own, they will automatically be opted into the state's standard face covering protocol. Now, they can still opt out entirely because of a law that Republican lawmakers put into place in response to her July order, but she says she expects that won't be as widespread as before.
We have heard from, a lot of people, including our own Senate President Susan Wagle, that if we were to put in place another executive order with face covering protocols, that a number of counties that originally opted out would come back in.
And she says she was able to get the support of the Republican leadership in the State House, in part because she changed things to get rid of that one-size-fits-all approach, but also because she added something that they asked for. She's going to be allocating CARES funds to organizations like the Kansas Hospital Association, Chamber of Commerce, and Farm Bureau to put together a public service announcement campaign that will begin next week. Reporting live from KCTV, Betsy Webster, KCTV5. Thanks, Ben.
Masks have always been an assault on Kansas. It violates our state constitution, and it is a strike on the backs of the Democrat Party. It's what this campaign is run on. Liberty. Kansas doesn't need civil conscience. It needs a county rights leader. We don't need the state dictating everything we do. We need counties to decide. Listen to Dr. Fauci talk about.
People should not be walking around with masks. You're sure of it? Because people are listening really closely to this. Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course. But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill.
See, even Dr. Fauci says we don't need him. Let's listen to the science and fully unmask. We need to defend our God-given rights, and I am the only Republican candidate for governor who is willing to follow that core principle of liberty set aside in the state constitution and the United States Constitution.